So, welcome everyone to this event, this we can say gathering that is a little bit special, we can say, as Climate Social Forum, and also thank to the we can say intuition, I would say, of Nora. We want to take a moment to reflect together on a text that, depending if you're not a believer or not believer, and so on and so forth, a text that gives some messages to humanity, okay? Properly facing the ecological crisis and the social crisis. I'm talking about the Laudato Si encyclic that was written by Pope Francis in 2015. That in a way was a message, okay? A message to the world to think about a new way to stay on this planet, okay? Just to make it very, very brief. Now, we will see some videos and we will discuss, we will have like a discussion. And as a Climate Social Forum, we decided to celebrate the Laudato Si encyclic in this week, that is the Laudato Si week, okay? Officially for the Catholic Church, this is the week where the Laudato Si need to be in a way celebrated, okay? I don't know if you know, I will also make a little bit of background of the Laudato Si, why the name Laudato Si, and what is the connection with ecology, basically. For the one that doesn't know, Laudato Si was a chant, okay? Was a chant that into the medieval ages, Saint Francis wrote in a moment of inspiration, basically being thankful to God for everything, you know, for the water, for the birds, for the sun, for the moon, even for the death. Okay, into the original chant, Saint Francis, as I said, in a moment of inspiration or particularly beatitude, he decided to write this chant. Okay, that become famous then in the church, but also not in the church, as a sort of ode and celebration to nature, okay? Because there was the water, sun, moon, everything, okay? And with this inspirational title in 2015, Pope Francis, that decided to have the same name, okay, of the saint, wanted to, in a way, address the problem of ecological crisis and also social crisis. Within the Laudato Si, basically, the Pope launched this concept of integral ecology. What is, in a nutshell, integral ecology? Then we will have a video that will explain better. Is this idea that the human communities, the anthropological communities, should not be disconnected from the nature around. And so we need to find a new relationship with the nature that is based, of course, on the standing the beliefs, of course, of Pope Francis into the thankful for creation. Okay, so we have to be guardians of the creation because this is like what God give us. Okay, but also having a social vision. So this Laudato Si and integral ecology is properly a full vision of the man into the planet. Okay. And this encyclic was properly done in a year that was very, very, very important regarding properly the all the frameworks that even UN addressed for shaping a new relationship with planet Earth. In 2015, in fact, there was like the Agenda 2030 with the Sustainable Development Goals. There was the Paris Agreement. There was the Sendai framework that was like a framework for extreme events and so on. So in a way, 2015 was a crucial moment for all regarding the relationship between humankind, humanity, and our planet. Mm? So this was a little bit of introduction, no, on the context, on the Laudato Si, and why we as Climate Social Forum we decided to give we say some of our time for remember it. But because even though, as I said, without being a believer or seeker, or but even from a point of view of like activism, okay, so without any we say compromission in interreligion, or every one of you, every one of us has his proper relationship, and no, we are not here to argue on that. But for sure, the document is strongly stressing the point that the social and environmental crises are intertwined. Okay, and so on this point of view, we are agreeing with this vision that is inside the Laudato Si. Anyhow, without further ado, I want to show a video that better than I do, we can say, can explain the Laudato Si, and then we can engage into a discussion, into a, we say, common sharing of thoughts and so on. Last little thing, we decide to celebrate in Climate Social Forum the Laudato Si referring to the soil, okay? And especially Laudato Si is bringing the point on the so-called commons. What are the commons? That goods, okay, that goods that are shareable in a way non exactly quantifiable, okay, and they are not completely addressed in a private way. So that's also an economical definition of what are the commons. And inside the Laudato Si, the word of Pope Francis also address this point of common goods. Okay, and as part of community, we have to steward towards the common goods. And as Climate Change Forum, we decided to take the soil because we wrote an extensive paper over that I will show and so on. Okay, so as I said, I would like to share with you a video that is for sure better than me on explaining a little bit the integral ecology approach. And then maybe we can engage in discussion. I think that some of friends that also we invited to this call also some friends that are part of movements that inspire to Laudato Si. There is an international movement of likes as well as seeker that is called Laudato Si movement. Okay, that is spread all around the world. We invite some friends of them. Let's see if they connect. But of course, also among us, we can have a nice discussion and so on. So let me share the screen. Okay. Let me know if you hear the video, just thumbing up with your reaction button.
Every Christian or every individual in this world is challenged by Pope Francis's Laudato Si letter. It is a love letter to everyone to take action on the ecological crisis we are experiencing today. We helped actually in disseminating Laudato Si action platform, our 7-year journey. And we are happy that we are indeed joining this journey. And since last year, with our campaigns, we are very humbled that many people have already joined this 7-year journey. A beginning of a journey of a lifetime, a beginning of the realization that we need to take action together. But the good news is, we are now entering this new journey, a new journey in every level of our society. Living Laudato Si Philippines for the last 2 years has been focusing on the campaign on divestment. We started from that because we really need to look at how we spend our financial resources and how we respond to the challenge of Laudato Si specifically on financial stewardship. Because at the end of the day, it is how we spend our money and support industries' activities harming our common home. We also focus on individuals and members of families. So we have this campaign called hashtag LS211. These are 7 small actions of love for a common home, which can actually be done within our homes, within our communities, and within our workplaces. And last year, we started our Laudato Si Schools campaign. We gathered many Catholic schools and universities to come up with a framework on how our schools, universities would be able to live Laudato Si within their campuses. Not only integrating Laudato Si within their curriculum, but also in all facets, their activities, plans of our educational institutions. We also started our campaign to adopt 12 parishes within the Philippines. Right now, we have already 2 parishes in the Diocese of Romblon, in which we established living chapels and Laudato Si gardens. These parishes are the parish of Santo Niño in the village of Danao in Sibuyan Island, and also in the parish of St. Thomas Villanova at the municipality of Alcantara in Tablas Island. To commemorate the 500 years of Christianity in the Philippines, the parishioners of St. Thomas of Villanova actually worked together to build 500 steps, a stairway from our established Laudato Si garden up to the Living Chapel.
And so we see a little bit the say a community that embraced the Laudato Si in an extensive way, no? Also to say that for many the Laudato Si has been not just one of the many documents, okay, that we can read from the church and from the Catholic environment, but properly as an inspiration to act and to do something for the stewardship of the planet. That's a concept that inside Laudato Si is very, very strong and clear. Steward for the planet, our common home is mentioned there. And so, with that, maybe let's open a little bit the discussion. I see Joan that maybe you want to intervene. If you want,
Sure.
Joan, yeah, please go ahead. Then let's give the floor to Nora, that also has been a little bit we can say the initiator of this event, and I will really pleased to also give her the floor. But please,
Let her
Joan.
go ahead. Yeah, let her go ahead first since she's the initiator. Congratulations. I think it's fantastic. I'll talk after her, maybe. Go
Oh,
ahead,
Okay.
Nora.
no, I mean, no, no, no. You're fine. Don't worry, don't worry. It's super relaxed. It's okay. You can go ahead.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, okay. I love it, and I'd like to show you a graphic that I did last week on this exact topic. And I don't know if you know that I belong to the Common Cluster, and that's what we're talking about, is this whole idea of respecting all of the common goods that are for the earth, the soil, the air, the water, this kind of thing. So if I can share just one quick graphic. Uh, I mean, every time I do this stuff, so this is a graphic that I'm promoting for the Victory Garden Institute is about our common health, right? And our aspect is because we're environmentalists, is that it's one thing about your home and your personal journey, but it's also you have to take care of your lifestyle should also take care of the earth and your community, and it's interconnected. And so we're calling it the interconnectedness of our common health. So, just playing on the word our commonwealth that people talk about at the UN. So health is not just about medical. We're not doctors, but it's about leading healthy lifestyles. And so I just wanted to show that we're on this whole, uh, I keep saying to people all the time, I don't know what happened to human beings, and I'm including, I've done this stuff too. Somehow we're given food, we're given vegetables, we're given plants, we're given animals to enjoy, we're given birds, we're given clean water, we're given the earth, the soil, the air, and somehow we just like screwed it up. Like, yeah, and I think partly, I guess, all of the commandments, if you look at the commandments, they're really about property, but at the end of the day, and ownership, as opposed to being grateful for having the common goods in the first place. I mean, a lot of indigenous people do honor that. They didn't think you should own the land. They don't think you should, but they do think it should be sacred. But we're not there anymore. The world's changed. But yes, I'm all for that whole goodwill stewardship messaging to take care of the earth for all of us because it will make a difference in our lives. So, and I love their project in the Philippines as well. Just to show that when people come together, they can create something really wonderful. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joanne. Thank you for your sharing and very nice graph. Very nice graph. Thank you very much. Nora, to you.
Okay, thank you. Wow. So let's see what I want to say. Well, first of all, is that I guess when I heard first time about Laudato Si Week, I was very excited, and that's why I insisted because I'm still excited because it's basically a new Earth Day, but it's Earth Week. So I wish people will become more and more aware of it because, of course, Earth Day it's every day and Laudato Si Week it's every week, but it's always good to have a certain time in the calendar where people acknowledge is there and they start to think about it more, and that's why I was excited to cover it somehow this year. Maybe in 2027 it will be bigger. Yeah. So that was the intro. And then actually one of the things that connected to what I do is actually what Joan and Domenico know. I see Luis is here. He doesn't know about the Trash Olympics petition. That I will share it here actually in the chat, just so you can all of you look a little bit at the image. Let's say copy. Let's put in the chat. Chat. How do I do chat on the phone? I'm sorry. So chat. Okay, so I'm putting it in the chat and you can open it. And then when you open it, you can tell me that you did, because I don't know, you can confirm that you did. And you see there the picture, the first picture.
Yeah. Now I will.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if John saw it, Louis saw
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that many people don't know. Domenico didn't know what's up with that heaven there. So I told him, well, that is a street artist in New York City who writes heaven. So inspired a little bit by his work, I created that petition, and then I created the Global Cleanup Games, starting from that petition. And many people don't know either that before, I mean, aside from that heaven, there are more heaven, because this is a street artist. So I didn't know when I first found the first one, he writes the same word again and again. So he wrote a lot of heaven here on the streets of New York, which are very dirty, and everybody walks and nobody looks left or right. And sometimes, a lot of times, they step on the word heaven, which he carved on the ground, or he writes on surfaces. And I used his tags, and I created also a scavenger hunt on the streets of New York, where people go and they find they go from one heaven to another heaven, and there are other few street tags that I used, but connected. And the scavenger hunt, it's all about hope and action, and that's the theme of Laudato Si Week in 2026. Is from hope to action. And I just wanted to share on this day basically the history. I think how did I get to that petition, or what's that heaven. And yeah, I guess in a way also you could say this is pop culture, pop slash, or I don't know, X, how do you say X, pop culture, because it's the pop. It's hope and action, the underground street art, and then a message for humanity to have hope and to act on it, basically. And this is also the purpose of the petition, and also the purpose of the Global Cleanup Games, to um together to pedal on the bicycle of hope and to get somewhere, to action, to act. Yes. And I guess that was my message, and I'm gonna show you here. I'm actually trying to save my battery because I'm on the street, but I want to show you heaven here, another heaven, not the heaven that okay. How do I remove the background? Okay, maybe if you do it, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do it. Oh, did you see it? I'm sorry. I'm next to one on the street, but I don't know how to remove my background. Okay, none. Okay, so you can see here heaven. This is actually written on a door. But yeah, a lot of them are carved on the a lot of them are carved on the in the cement. So I guess that was my pop culture intervention today. Yes. And I can also show you, actually, since we are here, I can show you another street artist that wrote right near this heaven. There is another very, very nice one, which says, what will you leave behind? And I really like this as well. I think it's very interesting. Uh, so yeah.
Is that a play on words?
I'm sorry?
What will you leave behind? Is that a play on concepts like?
It could be, I don't know. It just actually that's another interesting thing that I would like to say, that this is another street artist, right? And you have there the heaven. Here is what will you leave behind. And actually there is another street artist that emerged last summer, and he writes, I call him a he, I don't know, he writes thank you Jesus. So I really like this little strip, like 10-15 meters where I am right now, because it has a bunch of stuff. A lot of people came here and put their thoughts, like the pages in a book, and it's up to us, to interpret how we want, and we can also be ourselves pages in this book. It's a book of hope and action, basically. And yeah, it's a book that is still in process. We are writing it, and for example, in this particular situation, oh, and somebody just littered, okay? A guy just littered. Maybe you heard the noise, okay? A person just threw on. Did you hear? Okay, how is it? Did you hear? It's right here. How? Okay. Do you see this can? A person
Yes.
just walked by me and finished it and threw it.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
So how do
that's
I
not sure, Sid. That's not
say what?
true. No.
What do you say about that? You know what I'm saying?
No, I got,
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad, very bad.
It's very bad, exactly. And I'm on these streets. I don't know how are the streets where everybody is. Maybe in Milano is not that bad. I don't know how is in Toronto. That's where you are, yeah. I think, right? I got it right, John. Anyway, so in New York City, it's like that. You just heard the noise of the can hitting the ground next to me. One person on the bicycle. They are trash cans, but people don't use them. And anyway, yes. So we have to do something about that. If not everybody will do, the ones who have the right opinion should do, could do, will do. We have to do, basically. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe
Thank
it.
you, thank you, thank you very much, Nora. I don't know if you can hear me. Yes. So thank you also. Other friends joined the call. So very nice to have you here with us. As I was mentioning today, we are celebrating the Laudato Si encyclic into the Laudato Si week. Okay. As I say, depending if you are independently from if you are believer, not believer, and so on, for sure the encyclic Pope Francis was a document that, in a way, moved and inspired a lot of communities to do something for take care of to our common home. Okay, I don't know if there are other intervention. Maybe Louis also. Louis, si vous voulez parler, n'est pas problème de parler en français, si vous voulez, Louis. And also I invite Moran and Gokul eventually to introduce themselves. And then we have also another video, okay, that is talking about the integral ecology, okay, that can also inspire a little bit our discussion. So whoever wants to join, Gokul, Luis, or Moran, you are very welcome to take the floor. Okay, after Moran. Okay, Moran, do you want to intervene? I think Gokul, you can go ahead because maybe Moran cannot talk, or maybe we can let her talk when she can. So please, Gokul, go ahead. Very nice that you're here.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing good. How is things going on?
Very good, very good. So just let me tell you one thing, okay? I think
Hmm.
that Gokul is in the right moment because when we are going to talk about integral ecology, we will talk also about indigenous and traditional knowledge. And Gokul, I mean, if I have to call a person to talk about that, the first person comes into my mind is Gokul. So,
Good. Thank you, but um,
No pressure.
okay. Um, I don't know what to say today right now. I'm like, I just joined late, so can I have like a uh, because like the webinar link was also like the title was also in French. I think I didn't couldn't read too
Mhm.
much, so I don't have a context about what is happening.
No, even not French. It was early Italian. Laudato si is a
Ah,
word in early Italian, kind of Latin. Okay, so that's okay.
uh-huh. Integral
Uh,
ecology in Laudato si.
yeah, just to translate, okay, just
Uh-huh.
Laudato si is mean God be blessed. Okay, God be blessed for, and was a chant.
Uh-huh.
Okay, was a chant into the past to say God be blessed for the water, God be blessed for the sun, God be blessed for the moon and everything.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I think this week and this time is a very good time for to speak about this. We did an event at the WHO this time on indigenous medicine, and yeah, this is a special week as well. And also, there was like the inauguration of the renovated version of the globe for multilateralism, something on that was placed at the UN and a lot of other stuff. As well as the good things happening. So yeah, I think this is a great week after all, like to like for the traditional and indigenous medicine as of what I wanted to say. But yeah, that is it for this week. I think so for me to share about. But I'm like clearly not sure
Thank
what
you.
to speak. Yeah.
No, no worries, no worries. It's okay.
Mhm.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you, Domenico. No problem.
for joining.
Mhm.
So maybe we can reinforce a little bit the discussion, as I said, sharing
Mhm.
a video. Unless I don't know if somebody wants to intervene or to say something in the middle.
I can try now. I wasn't
Oh,
expecting it,
okay.
but
Yeah.
I'm also in some very light rain. so I'll make it quick. But there's, let's see if we can see this. See the
Ciao.
ciao. I'm showing here urban
Nice.
garden.
Nice.
You're in New York.
Yes, in New York, in Brooklyn, like Nora. And
Ah,
there's little mushrooms and roses in this garden, but it's an urban garden, and it looks like locals are taking care of it. Lots of greenery here. And I would say for Laudato Si, I think it's inspirational when leaders put life first and love first, because that's what loving the earth is all about. And that if we are talking anything true dogma, it's all loving. And all means all life, all living things, and all the parts of life. So I think it's really important that we continue to gather together people who believe in caring for one another, caring for ourselves, caring for the earth and the air and the water and the planet, and finding that heaven on earth instead of waiting to reach some other heaven. Look around and see the beauty and choose to see the beauty and be the beauty and choose to be the beauty. And it's right here, as Nora says. So thank you for the opportunity to participate. I love seeing all these people here, these faces of the souls who are doing good around the world. And I'm honored to be connected to you guys and girls and all the things and all the people in the, yeah. And may we continue to spread the light, spread the love, and bless those who are.
Thank you.
Onwards and upwards.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Moran, and thank you for joining. Also, thank you for finding, say, the connection sometimes also is difficult. So, I will, as I said, share this video, okay? Share a video in the chat that is basically the reading of the Laudato Si text, okay? Now, I will not go through the whole text because it will be a very long thing. But the first minutes of this video, I think it can be helpful also to, as I said, reinforce the discussion because it's quite interesting how, even from a point of view, as I said, of a religious, this encyclical is taking a lot of, we can call, uh, immanent problems. So problems that are inside the reality. So it's not just talking as Moran was saying, or heaven, hell, or religious abstraction, but properly of current problem that our society and our earth is facing. Try to propose also within a vision, okay, of a religious, we can say leader, some possibilities, okay, some possibility and way out. So let's go to the video a little bit, and then, as I said, we can continue to discuss, also sharing our point of view on the readings, okay. Okay, so this chapter is the chapter 4 of the Laudato Si that is properly talking about integral ecology. This concept that wants to unite back communities with nature.
Laudato Si, encyclical letter of the Holy Father Francis on care for our common home. Chapter 4, Integral Ecology. Since everything is closely interrelated, and today's problems call for a vision capable of taking into account every aspect of the global crisis, I suggest that we now consider some elements of an integral ecology, one which clearly respects its human and social dimensions. Section 1. Environmental, Economic, and Social Ecology. Ecology studies the relationship between living organisms and the environment in which they develop. This necessarily entails reflection and debate about the conditions required for the life and survival of society and the honesty needed to question certain models of development, production, and consumption. It cannot be emphasized enough how everything is interconnected. Time and space are not independent of one another, and not even atoms or subatomic particles can be considered in isolation. Just as the different aspects of the planet, physical, chemical, and biological, are interrelated, so too living species are part of a network which we will never fully explore and understand. A good part of our genetic code is shared by many living beings. It follows that the fragmentation of knowledge and the isolation of bits of information can actually become a form of ignorance unless they are integrated into a broader vision of reality. When we speak of the environment, what we really mean is a relationship existing between nature and the society which lives in it. Nature cannot be regarded as something separate from ourselves or as a mere setting in which we live. We are part of nature, included in it, and thus in constant interaction with it. Recognizing the reasons why a given area is polluted requires a study of the workings of society, its economy, its behavior patterns, and the ways it grasps reality. Given the scale of change, it is no longer possible to find a specific, discrete answer for each part of the problem. It is essential to seek comprehensive solutions which consider the interactions within natural systems themselves and with social systems. We are faced not with two separate crises, one environmental and the other social, but rather with one complex crisis, which is both social and environmental. Strategies for a solution demand an integrated approach to combating poverty, restoring dignity to the excluded, and at the same time protecting nature. Due to the number and variety of factors to be taken into account when determining the environmental impact of a concrete undertaking, it is essential to give researchers their due role, to facilitate their interaction, and to ensure broad academic freedom. Ongoing research should also give us a better understanding of how different creatures relate to one another in making up the larger units which today we term ecosystems. We take these systems into account not only to determine how best to use them, but also because they have an intrinsic value independent of their usefulness. Each organism, as a creature of God, is good and admirable in itself. The same is true of the harmonious ensemble of organisms existing in a defined space and functioning as a system. Although we are often not aware of it, we depend on these larger systems for our own existence. We need only recall how ecosystems interact in dispersing carbon dioxide, purifying water, controlling illnesses and epidemics, forming soil, breaking down waste, and in many other ways which we overlook or simply do not know about. Once they become conscious of this, many people realize that we live and act on the basis of a reality which has previously been given to us, which precedes our existence and our abilities. So when we speak of sustainable use, consideration must always be given to each ecosystem's regenerative ability in its different areas and aspects. Economic growth, for its part, tends to produce predictable reactions and a certain standardization with the aim of simplifying procedures and reducing costs. This suggests the need for an economic ecology capable of appealing to a broader vision of reality. The protection of the environment is in fact an integral part of the development process and cannot be considered in isolation from it. We urgently need a humanism capable of bringing together the different fields of knowledge, including economics, in the service of a more integral and integrating vision. Today, the analysis of environmental problems cannot be separated from the analysis of human, family, work-related, and urban contexts, nor from how individuals relate to themselves, which leads in turn to how they relate to others and to the environment. There is an interrelation between ecosystems and between the various spheres of social interaction, demonstrating yet again that the whole is greater than the part. If ever
I will stop here. The video is very long and very dense, okay, of contents. I will invite you to see eventually if you're interested. But even in this part, I think that there are many concepts that also we seek and believe into the climate social forum, like the interconnectedness between climate and social crisis, but also this systemic vision of the ecosystem, this reference to science, and so on and so forth. So yeah, mm, nice to share with you properly in this moment. Yes, please, Nora.
Yes, I mean I know the book is bigger than what you just heard. It has many chapters, and we didn't hear everything. And I'm sure there is this thing there because it said it's an economical and social crisis, something like that, right? If I got it correctly, economical and social.
Yeah, no,
That, yeah,
environmental and social that
yeah.
requires a new vision of ecological economics. That's
Yeah, but exactly because you heard, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry, you did not see the empty can hitting the ground, but you heard it. I will tell you what everybody knows. It's also a spiritual crisis. It's not just economical and social because it's not. It's not. And I think about two of my grandparents who were from a village and they were very poor. So, like very poor. All the village was poor, the country was poor, and they still loved the ground, the earth, the everything. So, it's a spiritual crisis. It's not just social and economical.
Thank you, Nora, for sharing. In the meanwhile, welcome, Victoria. Hi, nice to meet you, nice to see you. I don't know if there are other intervention. We just seen a little bit of a video that was explaining the Laudato Si encyclic from Pope Francis. Go cool.
I think no, just Nora just told like what was really like a mental, like spiritual issue as well. Back then, we used to be in villages and everything, but we also used to throw away waste, which was like organic content, like maybe like paper newspapers, maybe like the peels of the banana, all that stuff, which was organic, which will not staying there for like cans or plastic, like plastic papers or stuff. But these things will be like will decompose and go away and support the biodiversity around them. So that was a time when there was like less of mm, the things that would stays forever in the society. So I think that was something which I miss as well.
Thank you, Go cool.
Mhm. You're welcome.
I don't know if somebody wants to add something or eventually we can also go a little bit more on the video where there's a part, for example, where he's mentioning about the role of indigenous knowledge that we did not arrive there, but maybe we can go after. But yeah, I mean, impression also that's a open space, as I said, to also to reflect, no, on the and eventually, I mean, to give our point of views and so on.
It's Joan here. So, I always think of what could be, and does the book or any of the chapters or any of the videos tie the whole issue of how war destroys community and how peace can add to one acceptance of each other, and take away the greed and the power, and but that peace can bring us this food and better stewardship of the earth and things like that. I think, especially coming from the Pope, that would be like a great message of peace and food and community and that kind of thing. So, is there a chapter or any of the videos that talk about that?
So very good point. Not, I mean, in the original version of the encyclic, so the first release, the topic, of course, was addressed, but I think more in general term that we can refer now.
Okay.
What I know is that together with this, after a few years, the Pope has also released another encyclic that was called Fratelli Tutti, that means all brothers
Yeah.
in Italian, addressing the problem of lack of collaboration between societies, and as well about the concept of fraternity. And the thesis is quite interesting because he said from the French Revolution, okay, our system, like a capitalist system, has concentrated a lot on two values of the French Revolution that were like equality and freedom, okay? But nothing about fraternity. And so he say that we miss it apart. And so this has created a lot of compensation and so on and so forth. Also, an historical note, I think that imagine we were in 2015. Of course, there were already war all over because unfortunately, even though after the Second World War we decided to create bodies for grand peace, unfortunately, peace was not completely on earth.
But I was talking more about like today because we really can't do anything about what happened yesterday
No,
other
no.
than rather than have forward thinking. Anyway, I don't want to make it a big deal. I'm just saying that coming from the Pope, it would have been
Mhm.
really great to say, you know, we've made mistakes in the past. We're all trying to grapple with it. But one of the things that we can change is this whole idea, learning from the past and how it destroyed the earth, how it destroyed communities, you know, and tying that whole historic perspective, because a lot of groups that were colonialized, they still have those resentments, right? And part of why that is because it's never addressed. And then we see all of those crimes being committed again in this day, and we think, oh, we haven't learned anything from the past. So to say that peace is what we need to work with, not power, and obviously greed, and that in order for us to have a good earth and having good relationships, one of the things that we need to do is look and learning from the past and promoting more peace and not destroying the earth by war.
No, as I say, this is a very good point and also very relevant for our times.
Mhm.
I'm sharing the encyclic. Honestly, as I said, I have to read back to find the exact points. For sure, there is a chapter on global inequalities,
Mhm.
and let me see. Let me see.
Anyway, I don't want to take away from the discussion that we need to take care of the earth today. So
No,
just
no,
to make
no.
that point.
No, that's a good. It's not. In my opinion, is a very good point because
Yeah,
I mean, we cannot think to steward Earth if we are destroying that with the
yeah,
bombs. And of
that's
course,
right.
no. The only thing that I want to say that um, maybe for the time that the encyclic was there, maybe that point was not seen as so relevant as could be today. I'm very curious instead of reading. Tomorrow is gonna be released the encyclic of this new pope, the first one.
Right.
That isn't the topic, as I heard, was about the relationship of the taking care of humans into the world of AI. That's quite interesting. Let's see, for example, what is going on with the new encyclic that from this new pope. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, on this one, as I
Yeah,
said,
I'll read this. This is interesting, but thank you for sharing. This is great because we can actually design things or programs. That's what I love to do is to read contexts
Mhm.
and design programs around them. So
Thank you. I don't know if there are other intervention. Nora, please.
Yes, I would like to say a transmission from the streets of New York City. You didn't hear because my microphone was on mute. However, just like 2 minutes ago, a man stopped next to me and he asked me if I want his umbrella. And that was amazing. This is hope. This is hope. That's
Yeah,
why
Wonderful.
everything is depressing, but everything is hopeful because I said, you're amazing. Thank you so much. You're the best. You are. Yes. And I didn't take his umbrella, but I just wanted you to let you know that it's real. Hope is real. Yeah. So a small scale, the opposite of worse is just that guy trying to give me his umbrella because he saw me here under the awning. So thank you. I wanted to
good,
share
That's
good.
with
so
you the
nice.
moment. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same spot because I'm still here where the dead man littered. This guy offered me his umbrella. He came to me and he said, while he was using it, he said, "Do you want it?" And he reached out to me with the umbrella to give it to me.
Great,
Yeah,
great, great.
yeah. So that was what I wanted you to hear. Yeah.
Great. In the meanwhile, welcome to Hashim Yusuf. Very nice that you are here with us. Thank you very much. Victoria, hi, how are you? I don't know if you can speak.
Hola, good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing?
Fine, fine, thanks. Thank you for joining.
Yes, I don't know so much about this Laudato, and I wanted to know a little bit what it was about. So I arrived when you were projecting the video.
Okay,
I
okay.
tried to connect first, but I was having kind of signal troubles.
No worry, we are gonna share also the videos on the chat. And if you want, let me know. I don't want to be boring. As I say, these are open discussion and celebration. We can also go a little bit ahead with the video. Where, as I said, there is a point. First of all, I will share with you the full encyclic in chat so you can read. In the video, is talking about also the role of local and indigenous knowledge. So, if you want, we can also go there. And so we can also continue our discussion there. Okay, let's go.
Everything is related, then the health of a society's institutions has consequences for the environment and the quality of human life. Every violation of solidarity and civic friendship harms the environment. In this sense, social ecology is necessarily institutional and gradually extends to the whole of society, from the primary social group, the family, to the wider local, national, and international communities. Within each social stratum and between them, institutions develop to regulate human relationships. Anything which weakens those institutions has negative consequences, such as injustice, violence, and loss of freedom. A number of countries have a relatively low level of institutional effectiveness, which results in greater problems for their people, while benefiting those who profit from this situation. Whether in the administration of the state, the various levels of civil society, or relationships between individuals themselves, lack of respect for the law is becoming more common. Laws may be well framed, yet remain a dead letter. Can we hope, then, that in such cases, legislation and regulations dealing with the environment will really prove effective? We know, for example, that countries which have clear legislation about the protection of forests continue to keep silent as they watch laws repeatedly being broken. Moreover, what takes place in any one area can have a direct or indirect influence on other areas. Thus, for example, drug use in affluent societies creates a continual and growing demand for products imported from poorer regions, where behavior is corrupted, lives are destroyed, and the environment continues to deteriorate. Section 2. Cultural Ecology. Together with the patrimony of nature, there is also an historic, artistic, and cultural patrimony, which is likewise under threat. This patrimony is part of the shared identity of each place and a foundation upon which to build a habitable city. It is not a matter of tearing down and building new cities, supposedly more respectful of the environment, yet not always more attractive to live in. Rather, there is a need to incorporate the history, culture, and architecture of each place, thus preserving its original identity. Ecology, then, also involves protecting the cultural treasures of humanity in the broadest sense. More specifically, it calls for greater attention to local cultures when studying environmental problems, favoring a dialogue between scientific, technical language and the language of the people. Culture is more than what we have inherited from the past. It is also, and above all, a living, dynamic, and participatory present reality, which cannot be excluded as we rethink the relationship between human beings and the environment. A consumerist vision of human beings, encouraged by the mechanisms of today's globalized economy, has a leveling effect on cultures, diminishing the immense variety which is the heritage of all humanity. Attempts to resolve all problems through uniform regulations or technical interventions can lead to overlooking the complexities of local problems which demand the active participation of all members of the community. New processes taking shape cannot always fit into frameworks imported from outside. They need to be based in the local culture itself. As life and the world are dynamic realities, so our care for the world must also be flexible and dynamic. Merely technical solutions run the risk of addressing symptoms and not the more serious underlying problems. There is a need to respect the rights of peoples and cultures, and to appreciate that the development of a social group presupposes an historical process, which takes place within a cultural context and demands the constant and active involvement of local people from within their proper culture. Nor can the notion of the quality of life be imposed from without, for quality of life must be understood within the world of symbols and customs proper to each human group. Many intensive forms of environmental exploitation and degradation not only exhaust the resources which provide local communities with their livelihood, but also undo the social structures which, for a long time, shaped cultural identity and their sense of meaning of life and community.
Okay, I will stop here. As I was saying, together with the integral ecology, there is also this cultural ecology. So we cannot think of a technical solution just to solve the problem of the environment, but we have to respect also the local cultures and bring the local cultures as participatory in a participatory process that shape communities within their local and cultural heritage and so on. Okay, so I also see that one of our guests joined Friday in Bani. Thank you very much for joining from Nigeria. So maybe we can take a round of impressions from this part of the video, and then we can give the floor to Friday. Thank you very much for joining, Friday.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you for having me here. Greetings from Nigeria to all of you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's eventually take some feedbacks or opinion from this second part, little part of the video, if there are. Even though we can give the floor to Friday.
Okay, thank you for your invitation. Have a beautiful afternoon.
Thank you, Vittorio. Do you want to, if you want to add something, or feel free. If you want to tell something, we are just open discussing the thing. Okay, if there are no comments, Friday, please, the floor is yours. Thank you very much for joining. And yeah, as I was saying, today we are addressing the Laudato Si vision and the encyclical of Pope Francis, also considering soil as a common. You work also with local community, you work very close with the soil as a common. So the floor to you, Friday, to, we can say, first of all, to introduce yourself, and also very thankful that you are here with us.
I'm excited to be connected to all of you from the global south here in Nigeria. I always let people know that whenever we are talking about issue of climate disaster, of environmental degradation, issue that have to do with exploitation, especially fossil fuel extraction, it is an issue that I always feel emotional about it, based on a practical life experience here in the Niger Delta, Nigeria. Niger Delta is a region of 31 million population, and we are predominantly a farmers and fisher first. So our major source of livelihood depends on farming system and fishes. And as a result, this is what about 31 million of population depend on. For example, I myself speaking here today was trained from the income, the money generated from fishing. My mother engaged into fishing. My father was also a fisherman. And that was how they were able to raise children in those days to school, money from farmers and money from fishing. But today, a few corporations like Share, like Ajib, INE, Chevron, Total, a lot of them came together in the name of development to stow away our culture, stowing away our source of livelihood, destroying the Mother Earth, polluting the land. And this is not something that is healthy, because I've never seen any belief system, any tradition that supports pollution. I've never seen any religion that favor contamination of the soil, the air, the water. It is a crime of nature. It is a kind of injustice. And since 1956, that share came to our region, our community, till date, we have never recorded a tangible development that show that wet from the fossil fuel is taken from this particular region. What we witness is like a sacrificial area, a sacrificial zone. I think that's the best statement in language to describe Niger Delta. It is a region that is sacrificial. And this is not something that local community will continue to live in. And that is why we are looking for a binding commitment, a community binding commitment, participatory, people-centered action, strategically to ensure that there is a tangible restoration of the soil, restoration of the environment, and reparation should be at the center of discussion. I always let people know that any other commitment without reparation is still like a continuation of extractivism in another form. There will be a feeling of remorse, a feeling of I'm sorry. The reparation is also all about that this work we have done to this time. A lot of some plants and animals, the ecosystem, the mangroves have been destroyed totally. When we talk about loss and damage funding, as we discussed in some of the traditional climate negotiations called this COP, there's a community, many communities that they do not lack the evidence of climate injustice, like the Niger Delta that I came from. We recorded continuation of oil spillage in the land. Gas flailing is uncontrollable 24 hours. I have about 3 reports 4 reports that is on internet today. The very first one came from UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, that came to our community in Ogoni, in Niger Delta. Very small community, and they conducted an environmental impact assessment of how this pollution is damaging the area. And the report stated that our people have been taking in 900 tons of benzene in our drinking water. Benzene is a carcinogenic substance that's causing cancer. 900 tons of benzene in our drinking water. That the pollution is about 5 meters deep in the ground, 5 meters deep of pollution in the soil. And it's going to take 25 to 30 years for this area to be restored. We also have another report from my dear partner, Kebekashi, one female organization like that in our area here is our partner. They conducted current blood sample from women. It's a female organization. They collected blood sample from human blood from women. Let's say 100 of them. And 100 of them, there was a presence of hydrocarbon in human blood. That is, in the blood sample, there's a presence of hydrocarbon. This one just tells us that we are already living in climate change. We are already living in a sacrificial zone. And strategically, we need to unite. We need to strengthen our action. We need to strengthen all. It is an issue that affected all the sectors. Call you the agriculture, the transport, the finance, any other sectors that you think about, climate change affected it. And the best time to act is now. And that's why I am here joining all of you from the Global North and standing in solidarity and demanding an end, a phase out of fossil fuel. Now that we have an alternative solution, that is the renewable energy, this is working. It's not a science that cannot be touched, cannot be filled. Renewable energy is a solution. So it is a time we need to support the agenda of Santa Marta Conference. I think this is the conference that community have been waiting for. Even if you do not attend, or the outcome of the conference is not as strong as political will, but it is a starting point of solution compared to our traditional
I think that there was like a problem of connection.
climate negotiation, COP that Colombia, that Colombia have planted a seed of hope. They have planted a seed of fossil-free future. My children, and they must act as people of fossil fuel and demand triple investment in renewable energy. I think this is our position at the right time. And before I end my speech, I would like to invite all of you to the forthcoming Niger Delta Climate Change Conference. It's happening on the 29th of June to 4th of July. June is just next month to 4th of July. All of you have invited. We need to brainstorm together. We need to discuss and move towards a community center action. Action that will benefit the community. And we don't need to make second mistakes. The first mistakes have been made to welcome the fossil fuels, believing in the path of development. We never knew they came to deceive us for their selfish interests, profit-oriented over a whole community. This is wickedness. So we need a solution and energy that everybody will be part of that development. Thank you so much for having me. And I wish us a fruitful and impactful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Friday. Thank you for being with us and also sharing this important message that also it's important to start from the community, also the energy conversion. I will just say a nice thing after this encyclic that now we are celebrating today. At least what I saw in my country, that it's Italy, that a lot of you say Christian communities are starting to create energy communities and to turn into renewables. Also, we saw from the Philippines this campaign of disinvestment, no? And so, but we have to follow up not just with word, but with concrete action. And as Friday's recall, it's important to not exclude the community into the solution that we are running, and especially listen also the cry of the hurt and the cry of the people. These are two concepts also that into the encyclical are very strong. We are facing, as I said, intertwined crisis, social, environmental, and so on. And these are defined into this document that I share with you as the cry of the hurt and the cry of the people. And if you want really to address an integral ecology concept, you have to find a solution for both of them. Now, also another friend has shared this celebration, this event that is Munene. I Munene, thank you for joining us. And also we met with Munene properly talking about the economy of Francis, no? This movement that is trying to shape a new form of economy, as was put into the video. Maybe I will ask Munene to take the floor and to explain also what he is doing in his country as well in Africa regarding the implementation of the Laudato Si. Thank you very much for being with us. David, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm here. Greeting to all of you. Peace and goodness, good tidings to all. My name is Munene. David, I work with the Catholic Youth Network for Environmental Sustainability in Africa, or SINESA as a programs manager. And I also help to chair the board of the Southern African Faith Communities Environment Institute. It's a great time to be celebrating 11 years of Laudato Si, an encyclical that made life easy for the young people of faith in Africa and I think beyond, as well as all of us who truly love God's own handiwork as described in Laudato Si. The invitation by my good friend Domenico reached me just the other day, 1:26 a.m. in Nairobi, and it's a pleasure to be awake at this hour of the night to engage with friends from all over the world. More importantly, in the spirit of Laudato Si paragraph 19, I am quite enthused to be painfully aware of the sufferings of the excluded in the context of our colleagues who usually have to bear with us as we organize Zoom calls like these ones at their wake up time of 4 a.m., 3 a.m. in the wee hours of the night. And now I do not speak from abstract theory. I am pleased to be sharing in this experience with all of you. Laudato Si and the concept of integral ecology has been debated and discussed across various platforms from scholars to indigenous communities and so on. In Africa, though, integral ecology is integral to our ways of living, our ways of sustenance, and our ways of approaching and engaging and interacting with God and God's own creation. Because even before Laudato Si was released, from the tender age of growing up in the villages as a Mogikoyo from the central Kenyan region, I had the pleasure of interacting with the concept of the holistic approach to ecology. I'll give an example. For instance, I would observe and would be given strict instructions by my parents. And by parents, I mean we were children of the society. So any other person that was the age of my mother or my father remains my parent. When I would go fetching firewood in the forest, I would not be in the bushes. I would not be allowed to cut down a small tree. Instead, I would be requested and required to harvest only the dry twigs on that tree. When I grew up, I began to understand why even timber harvesting was done from very huge trees, so they don't cut down the tree, but instead they would harvest the big branches and the tree would continue to thrive. However, at times there would be festivals that would require a lot of firewood. Let's say the community needs to come together. And if a tree, it was perceived in 3 months there's going to be such a festival. Prior to that, almost every other homestead would be planting a tree and taking care of it in the hope that by the time we are cutting that one and we shall seek permission from it as our way of living as the Agikoyo people. The sacredness and sanctity of creation was central and remains central. It is the same way we would not be allowed to poison rivers. Hence, it is very scary and astonishing to date that a person from my own community, and Catholic sometimes at that or Christian, would open up a factory and drain their waste into a river. It still is very, very astonishing. I'm still caught by surprise despite that looking like the new normal. With the Catholic Youth Network for Environmental Sustainability in Africa, we have curated and a formation plan. And this formation plan is systematic and rooted deeply in Catholic social teaching principles, and Laudato Si takes center stage. When we get to the stage of Laudato Si, we only start with the for Mondays to explain to them Laudato Si, and we begin and discuss chapter 1, what's happening to our common home. Then we help them to discuss using PowerPoint presentations, stories, and case studies. We get to the second, the gospel of creation. After that, for Mondays who are multi-faith, they are not all Catholic, they begin to make presentations and study Laudato Si and do group exchanges so that they can also offer us their insight after being introduced to Laudato Si, so that we can also teach as we learn, be formed as we form. But we're also running grassroots programs on the ground, and one of the most enticing things on the poster that Domenic was sent me was the concept of soil. Soil as a concept, soil as a person in my community, soil is what we call our great mother or our grand matriarch or our biggest or most respected mother. Why? Because from the soil, we already know from my community, even before Christianity, that everything proceeds from the soil, and the soil delivers life, the soil sustains life, but the soil also consumes afterlife. And even though we know that we live beyond these times, we live into eternity. We also know that the anchorage of every spirit is rooted in the soil. For even though science would say that the planet is covered by 70% water, we know that under the water there is some soil. Therefore, the soil becomes the glue that holds everything together. I see is leaving. Thank you, Hashim. It's a pleasure to have had the opportunity to share with you, albeit for a few moments in this webinar. So to conclude, we are commissioning our young people to get into policy making processes. So SINEFA is accredited to various UN agencies, and we are also instrumental in starting or convening the network of Catholic climate and environment actors, which now seek the help to support with secretariat services. But we are also very keen to work with communities beyond our our faith circles. That is why we are also part of the founding membership of the now defunct Faith for Us initiative and still continue to interact with colleagues around the world. We keep the faith, we never lose hope, for faith is a substance of things hoped for and things that we have not seen. Therefore, at the root of it all, we believe that conversations and dialogues such as this, for indeed dialogue is at the center stage of Laudato Si, are the way to proceed. It may look like it's not happening in the ways that we had hoped, but we are sure that there is God who assures us that everything shall turn out as it's supposed to be in the fullness of time. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Munene, for your really witness of the living of the Laudato Si, also with the African Catholic Youth Network, and also for giving us an expression also on how to not just read but also implement the document. Okay, now we are gonna go to the conclusion before maybe giving the floor for a last round of discussion. As I say, today is a celebration and also is a way to reflect together, okay, on the topics that we rise. Also inspired by the Laudato Si, as we are gonna celebrate that. But before that, as Climate Social Forum, also we are going into the direction, as I was mentioning at the beginning, to consider the soil as a common. And in fact, during our last edition of the Climate Social Forum, we drafted a resolution on soil, properly because our topic was the soil. And we came out with some key points that for us are important to maintain and steward the soil. So I will share now the link so everybody can be aware of the resolution on soil. We're going to share also on our social media and so on. It's a document that we elaborated properly after our last Climate Social Forum. And the paper is expressing some of the position of the Climate Social Forum elaborated together on soil protection. Recognize soil as a strategic pillar for climate action, promote agroecology and food system transformation, promote soil biodiversity and soil web, prevent soil erosion and degradation, strengthen the water-soil nexus and water-soil management, restore also soil and organic matter, maintain the nutrients, the balance of the nutrients. No, Friday also was reminding this. Okay, we have to maintain soil. We have not just to use soil as something that we can exploit, but we need to protect if we really want to maintain it. And here I want to recall also one of the other sentences that we can find into this encyclic. If we are taking care of our home, of our nature, the home is take care of us. And so, of course, we have to maintain the soil regenerated. Okay. Develop collaborative soil living labs and data labs. Is important to share knowledge as we are doing, share data, practice, and so on. Promote regenerative technology, empower youths, rural community, farmers, and soil steward. Okay, this concept of stewardship, the new economy and vision of a care of our environment. Okay, that's our proposition inside the Climate Social Forum. As I said, we want also to commemorate giving our part into the protection of the nature that is mentioned into the Laudato Si, considering soil as a common good. Maybe the other colleagues that helped to draft, if they want to add something, now I will open the floor for our last round of discussion. And maybe, Nora, correct me if I'm wrong, if you agree, maybe we can then close with some final remarks. But first, let's open the discussion.
I don't have any thing to discuss, but I'd like to say that I think this is a really good project, and I really want to help and support it. Obviously, I'll read the uh, Google Doc. So, other than telling us about this program by the Pope, is there something that's coming out of it, or you just wanted to inform us about it?
As I say, today was just a celebration.
Information? Yeah,
Yeah, because it's Laudato Si week and so on,
yeah,
and we decided with Nora to have this event. But out of that, as I said, the encyclic is asking for bring to take action basically.
yeah,
There are different communities as the one of Munene, but
yeah,
other many like the Laudato Si movement, another movement that is called Economy of Francesco that is trying to shape also on the point of view of the economical research, no, a new vision of
yeah,
this integral ecology. So. The document was because now it's 10 years, more than 10 years
yeah,
that it is
yeah,
around, a call for action, essentially from the Pope to the humanity as
yeah,
a religious leader. But there are current movements that are implementing. For example, as I was saying, a lot of the Laudato Si inspired people into the Catholic Church, they are creating energy communities in Europe, but also in Latin
yeah,
America and so on. The experience of Philippines. So there are
yeah,
the nice thing is probably that this is a call to action and a lot of people, as I said, depending from their faith and depending from their faith, because there are people that just are. There is an association, for example, in Italy that they were coming from the working class. They were like from the unions, and they decided to embrace this vision because standing to them was a good model for a society that is protecting also the working class. I don't know. It's a call for action for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, I thank you so much for bringing it forth. I think it was I learned a lot, and thank you for the links as well. So
thank you, Joan. I know that for somebody it's very late. Not really. Thank you very much for.
yeah, I just finished. I just finished cooking while I was listening. So
Yeah. No, no, but I also thank Munene, Friday, and everyone that I know that for them it's very late. Unfortunately, we try to find a window into this week, but was very full of appointment. As
yeah,
Goku was saying, there was also the World Health Assembly this week. Also, there the topic was reshaping a new concept of
yeah.
One Health. So it was
Hmm.
very packed. So thank you very
Yes.
much.
Well, normally I get from Europe, I get like 8 a.m. European time, which is like 3 a.m. my time. You know,
Yeah.
so
Okay, okay. So if there are no other intervention, maybe Nora, I also leave the floor to you for some closing remarks.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, what can I say? I'm just happy this happened. And to answer, John, you answer very well. This is just a reminder, as we need, we know it, but it's always good to have reminders and um, calls for unity and
yeah,
just think about it. And actually, John, you're the only one who actually did action because I don't think anybody cooked. Anybody, I was just pacing here on the sidewalk. So I think you actually probably, yes, you actually did some action. So you are on it. Yes. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Thank you everyone who joined because I know, like Domenico says, it's late even in Italy and everywhere. Yeah,
Yes, yes. What
yeah.
time is it in Italy, Domenico?
Is 40 past midnight.
Oh
Wow.
God. You better say good night. You better say
Yeah.
good.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
So, Domenico, just one question, yes or no? Do you sleep?
Sometime.
Okay. I just wondered. All right, guys. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you as well. Bye bye.
Thanks,
Bonnie.
Thank you.
Nora. Bye-bye.
Bonne soirée, Bonnie, Louis. Merci beaucoup for Jean.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye bye. Thank you, Munene. Thank you. Bye bye.
Pleasure.